Hey guys, welcome back for my February goals video. Okay, I finally made a playlist, so I'm gonna link that playlist up here if you guys wanna see what these goals videos are all about, or if you wanna go back and revisit old goals or whatnot. It really was for my own sake. I really need to be more organized here with my channel to help you guys maneuver around a little better. And I've been saying it forever. I need to make a playlist of my goals. I finally did that. So if you want to pop back through, see what these videos are all about, go ahead and click on that playlist. Today I am talking about my February goals, the things that I want to kind of focus on in 4 areas: homeschooling, personal goal, a family goal, and a parenting goal. Just areas of focus for the month of February. And I'm gonna jump right into it because it's a short month, so I thought I'd make a short video. So my personal goal, last month my personal goal was really funny. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch that video. I had a friend who really held me to that goal. And we actually were just out last night doing that before the end of January. So she was like, literally January is ending tomorrow. We need to go tonight. So we went out. It was so much fun. We spent like 2 hours out shopping, getting sized, measured. It was really, really fun and very much successful, and I feel amazing. I don't know why it took me so long to do that. So if you haven't seen that video, go back. That would be a great goal for anybody in 2020. But my personal goal this month is to work in more fermented foods for myself. And so what I'm saying is just 1 fermented food a day, which shouldn't be that difficult because I'm pretty sure I already do that, but I just want to be more mindful. I had my appendix out, gosh, Annie was like 2 months old, so almost 3 years ago. And I got sick often that year. And I thought it was like, you know, sometimes it's like a trauma to your immune system when you have surgery or you just go through lots of life events. And she was a newborn essentially. And so I know my body was just exhausted that year in general from nursing and being up all the time. But it wasn't until about a year after that surgery that I found out how important your appendix is when it comes to gut health and all that good bacteria. So where I would maybe just take a probiotic capsule at the time, I've really been trying to work in more living probiotics in their natural form. So right now what I do is I do kombucha often, and I do sauerkraut sometimes in my salads. I don't do much dairy, so yogurt's not really on the rotation. I do the almond milk yogurt every now and then as a little treat. And I will put, you know, my probiotic capsule. Sometimes I just like break it open and put it into my smoothie because it's a horse pill. Anyway, let me know in the comments below what some of your favorite sources of probiotics, prebiotics are, and fermented foods. I know that it's in like probiotics, and all those good prebiotics are in a lot of plant-based foods, just naturally occurring, or at least that helps cultivate it. But I just want to be more mindful of bringing in the fermented foods into my diet. I know that that is, you know, part of our traditional way of eating back in the day, and it contributes to good health. So if you guys have good fermented foods, not just probiotics, but fermented foods specifically, because I've found that those are always, when I'm starting to get sick and I drink apple cider vinegar or I drink a little more kombucha, or I'm really mindful of putting those fermented foods into my diet if people around me are sick, those tend to help me more than taking like vitamin C or drinking orange juice. Those are the times that I notice I'm able to like hold off on illness. So obviously I'm not a doctor, don't take my advice. I'm just saying I would like to bring more fermented foods in for gut health, that's all. So that's my personal goal. John and I, as far as our family goal, John and I have been talking a lot about just how, and I'm excited, I hope to bring him on my channel here soon so we can talk to you guys about it. I think he makes some really good points. Sometimes when we're talking, like, I want you to come share this on my channel, but what would the whole point of that video be? I'd have to engage him and get him to that point in our conversation and then bring my camera out. We've been talking a lot about just home education being a part of our family culture, and everything from meal prep and you know, chores and our commitment level to things. It all contributes to home education and just the way that we are choosing to raise our kids. And so it's not just, I'm not the only one pulling the weight of our homeschool. So he does so much behind the scenes that's helpful and contributes toward our homeschool without actually doing the academic stuff with the kids. That being said, a couple of my kids with me one-on-one, specifically when it comes to math, when I'm around, they just feel like they need my help constantly. When John sits down and does their math with them, he just sits there and watches them. We do teaching textbooks mostly for my older two, and then my younger son does Horizons because he's not quite old enough for teaching textbooks yet. And they love teaching textbooks. I love teaching textbooks. But when they're unsure of their answer and they don't want to get a question wrong, they'll call me in for almost every single question. And so when he's around and he's kind of in charge, they don't ask him as much. And I know, like, it's just a personality thing. Moms bring you comfort. You feel like you can just ask. Maybe I've enabled that because I've constantly helped them. Like, I've checked their work and then I'm like, yeah, that's right. And then they'll plug it in. When he's around, they're both more open to getting a question wrong. Or maybe they just don't want to ask him for help and they want to show off for him. And they also don't ask for as much help and they complete their lessons much faster. So right now we've given them a math goal of where we hope they'll be by the end of February. And that will be great. So we just kind of, our family goal right now is, you know, just hitting that math goal and having him, we started the year behind. We were still finishing last year's math. So we're just, you know, we're not where I want to be. Not that we're off on anyone else's schedule, but we're not where I want to be. So we're just working toward hitting that goal. And that involves a lot of John doing that with them in the evenings. So we're going to see how that goes. It's always a work in progress here. We do a lot of subjects. We switch it around a lot on the regular, but right now, we're both being very mindful of that math goal that we have for them, and sometimes that involves John doing it with them in the evenings. I just checked my list. I got off track. Our family goal was just working on that family culture that I was talking about. Like, we've been talking about just working together when it comes to the meal prep and when it comes to the outside activities, and kind of communicating a little more about that now that I see where he's coming from and he kind of knows more of what I need. So does that make sense? I kind of needed to separate that back a little bit. Our homeschooling goal is the math, but because we're working on just doing, kind of weaving it more, our education more into our regular lives and not just stopping it when the school day is done, that brings all of that together. So our family goal and our homeschool goal are very much together this month. That was a little confusing. I hope you followed me. Sometimes I think I'm super confusing and then I'm editing and I'm like, no, that sounded much better than you thought. I don't think this is one of those times. And then my parenting goal is focused on one child specifically, and that is Annabeth. When I started homeschooling Isabella, she was, 3, 4. Jesse was a toddler. He was kind of just always around. I had 2 kids. It seemed a little easier at the time. At the time, I'm sure it seemed harder, but when I look back on it, it feels much easier than it is now, but who knows. Then when we started with Jesse, I kind of had him and Bella doing stuff together for homeschool, and I was able to focus on Eli's preschool development a little more. Now, poor Annie, because this year has been like the year that I feel like kind of broke me with homeschool, like bringing my 3rd student in. Kindergarten for Eli is a little more separate from the older 2, so I'm not able to just complete everyone together at once. And so the trickle-down effect is that Annie just gets a lot of like quick entertainment, like here's some Play-Doh, here's a coloring page, and when all else fails, it's like, okay kids, one of you go play with her. And I am not getting the experience with her, and she's not getting the experience with me that my other kids have gotten. Not that it has to be the same. I really don't think every kid has the same experience. Parenting in general, most of your kids don't have the same experience with you, and that's not good. Not that one child has a better experience or a worse experience, it's just different. However, there are a lot of opportunities for me to take Annie aside one-on-one and do some special, unique things around town. So there is a nature sensory group, and there are some little toddler themed nature story hours. So my goal for this month, my parenting goal, is just to kind of turn my eyes toward some opportunities to do some things one-on-one with Annie, and that's twofold because that will teach my kids to do a little more independent work. For example, if I go to the nature sensory hour, I can easily bring some of their busy work that they need to get done, and they can do it right near us at that playground. So that's my goal, is just to kind of reset and focus. She's definitely coming into her own. She doesn't seem like a little toddler anymore. She's kind of coming into that preschool stage. She's almost 3, and she is just so aware and interested and engaging, and so I want to just enjoy that time with her while also not neglecting my kids' education. It's a really tough balance. I'm just going to try to focus on that a little bit this month. So that's it. Let me know in the comments below what your goals are for this month, if you have any, or if you reached your goals from last month. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up as always. That's really helpful to me, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.